guys, it's Karen and I'm so excited because I finally have a name and character for this gorgeous little girl. This is my Feeple60 Mirwen, who was originally Ryan, and I finally have a new character for her that I am crazy about. So her name is going to be Savannah, which is a slightly different name than what I was originally anticipating. I was thinking of naming her something like Bonnie or Molly or something like that, but I actually took her character in a slightly different direction than I was originally thinking, and I find that Savannah suits her really, really well. And I love it on her. Ah, it's so cute. So I'll just tell you a little bit about her personality quickly. She's not a really, really deep character at this stage. I hope to evolve her more as I go along and maybe sort of develop more of a story for her. At the moment, it's kind of loose, which is exactly what I want, so that I have room to grow her. So, as I said, her name is Savannah. She is 18, and she's in her final year of high school. Her most important relationships are probably her two best friends, one of whom is named Madeline, and that is going to be Madeline's spirit is going to be embodied in my incoming girl. So I'm super excited for that because I would love to have Savannah and Madeline together because they're absolute besties. But kind of mixing that up is another best friend that Savannah has that is, you know, she's friends with Madeline as well. They're sort of a threesome and they do stuff together, but those two would not be friends if it wasn't for Savannah. She is definitely the linchpin of the group. And that sort of ties into the fact that she is just a person that people are drawn to, and it's basically always been that way for her. She has kind of mousy colouring. She's sort of meant to have sort of mousy coloured hair and light brown eyes. But despite that sort of unflattering sounding description, she's actually just one of those people who is just objectively stunning looking, and she doesn't even have to smile to be pretty, and people just find themselves staring at her. And she's basically found that men and women and children have stared at her pretty much her entire life, because she's just one of those people that you walk past and you just have to turn your head and look because they are that attractive. And on top of that, she is naturally extremely good at being flirtatious. And by that I don't mean that she's that sort of obvious flirt that is loud and giggling and silly all the time. She's just really subtly flirtatious all the time, and people will just notice that when they're talking to her, men and women, that her eyes just sort of light up and sparkle, and they just find themselves feeling really listened to and like they're the only person in the room. And that's kind of her way of flirting with people that she doesn't even necessarily do intentionally. And it's just another aspect of her that makes her sort of mesmerizing and draws other people to her, even though she's not really interested in popularity and that sort of thing. And she's definitely not boy crazy at all. In fact, the fact that she's basically always had so much attention and people always telling her how pretty she is has kind of pushed her away from boys, because she figures that she can get a guy whenever she actually feels like it. And right now she's really, really, really focused on getting into a good university. She comes from a really intellectual and highly educated family, and as the youngest of three and the cutest of three, but also the least highly achieving of three, she's always kind of had this chip on her shoulder where she feels like she's the bimbo of the family. And really, it's not true. No one really perceives her as a bimbo once they get to know her, because they quickly realize that she is highly, highly intelligent and very serious and focused. And she's almost a little bit of a nerd. You know, her favorite subjects are maths and physics and modern history. And she's really not a whimsical and creative person. She's really quite into hard science and knowing how the world works. But when people do sort of just meet her, she often feels like she struggles to be perceived as intelligent, especially by really intelligent people and by guys, because they just sort of, they do sometimes see her just as a pretty face. And that's about it for just a really quick overview of her. I will go into more detail about her relationship with Madeline, which is somewhat unusual. And also, I will do probably a 10 facts about her and get into her in a little bit more detail. But that's just a little basicness about her. I'm sorry she sounds really kind of like a Mary Sue character right now. She probably sort of is, but I'm sort of working on developing her more as we go, and hopefully she won't end up being that way at all. I'm so excited to get in Madeline and have my two girls together, because I think that'll be super fun, especially because their relationship together is kind of interesting and quirky. Okay, well that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you really enjoyed meeting Savannah, and I hope you love her as much as I do. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now from Karen and Savannah.